This is Chris with Front Porch Football, where we take SEC football as serious as you do. In continuing our ranking series, I'm going to take a few moments to discuss and rank the top 5 defenses in the SEC in 2017. Great defensive play has been the single most defining characteristic of SEC football these past few decades, and this season should be no different. At number 5 are the Florida Gators. Florida always has a ton of talent on this side of the ball, with CeCe Jefferson returning at defensive end and Duke Dawson returning at defensive back. Florida should have enough talent to keep them in football games this season. However, this year's Florida team will not be that traditional nation-leading pass defense this season, in my opinion. They lost too much with Marcus Maye, Teez Tabor, and Quincy Wilson all in the NFL. And on top of that, the Gators lost leading tackler Marcel Harris to a season-ending injury over the offseason. So not only do you lose Marcus Maye, Teez Tabor, and Quincy Wilson all to the NFL draft, but you also lose Marcel Harris to a season-ending injury. That's 4 key contributors gone from last season's pass defense. So I think they take a step back. And while there's plenty of talent to start them off in the number 5 position in this power rankings, don't be surprised if they don't finish in the top 10. At number 4 is Auburn. Maybe hard to believe, but I think Auburn could be even better up front this season, even though they lost Montravius Adams and Carl Lawson to the NFL draft. Marlon Davidson returns at defensive end. Byron Cowart should have a huge junior season, and I am a huge Derek Brown fan at that defensive tackle, nose tackle hybrid position Auburn likes to run. Auburn also was able to sign Big Cat Bryant, one of the nation's premier pass rushing prospects, on National Signing Day this past February, and he definitely has the best name in the SEC, Big Cat Bryant. I don't know if that's legal or if that's on his birth certificate, but definitely a fun nickname, Big Cat Bryant there. So look for Auburn to have a talented defensive front to go along with their linebacking core that returns some key contributors from 2016, and a secondary that has one of the nation's most underrated safeties in Trey Matthews. Coming in at number 3 are the Bayou Bengals of LSU. Like all great SEC defenses, the Tigers will have a defensive line that should be considered one of the nation's best by season's end. It is chock full of big 300-pound veteran seniors with Greg Gilmore, Christian Lacocher, and Frank Heron all returning. The 3 of them will man that traditional 3-4 defensive line positions LSU likes to run, and as good as they are, those 3 are not the main reason LSU fans are salivating about this defense. That is because pass rushing specialist Arden Key returns as one of the nation's leading pass rushers from last season. Key plays the buck position, which is basically a 4th defensive lineman at times, and at other times an outside linebacker. The Tigers do have to replace some big names at linebacker and in the secondary, but LSU has recruited well enough for the Tigers to still play at a high level at those positions this season. So look for the defensive front to have a big season and for Arden Key to be recognized as one of the best pass rushers in 2017. At number 2, the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is pretty dang close to Alabama in my opinion, with speed and depth throughout this defense. Names to remember: Trenton Thompson at defensive tackle, Dominic Sanders at safety, and Lorenzo Carter at outside linebacker. All 3 of them could finish the season on All-American teams, and plenty of other Georgia Bulldogs will make All-SEC teams by season's end. They return starters or players that played a significant amount of snaps at each and every position, and they have talented 5-star freshmen sprinkled throughout the depth chart. So I think Georgia will have a big season defensively, and I think they will finish top 5 nationally in scoring defense. So Georgia Bulldogs at number 2. And there are no surprises at number 1. The top defense in the SEC in 2017 will be the Alabama Crimson Tide. They led the country in scoring defense, rushing defense, and total defense last season, and there's a chance they will do the same again this season. Deron Payne, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, and Sean Dion Hamilton are all legitimate preseason All-Americans, and until somebody proves otherwise, it is hard to argue Alabama is not the best defense in the SEC. They're the deepest year in and year out, and with guys like Anthony Averett, Rashawn Evans, Dylan Moses, Isaiah Buggs all ready to show why they're the next Alabama star, I think the Tide rolls, and they have another big season defensively. So that's it. the top 5 defenses in 2017 in the SEC. A lot of defenses have potential, in my opinion, to crack the top 5 by season's end. Kentucky should have a stout pass defense, but they'll need their defensive line to step up if they are able to have a better run defense in 2017. South Carolina has some good starting talent, but they have a lot of questions about depth that they need to have answered going into the 2017 football season. And I think Tennessee and Texas A&M have pieces to potentially have a decent defensive unit this year, but they need to have more consistency up front, and they need to have better run defenses. So that's it, top 5. Let us know what you think, Front Porch Football fans, and thanks for listening.